All right, let's just say this is physical coordination training. I'll keep track of your score.
Oh, damn. Whatever. Oh, waste of time. Ha! I am unstoppable. Suppose you could say I crushed it.
Building a resistance group requires operatives with specialized skills. Technical abilities, firearms handling, and physical training are all valuable. Bare-knuckle boxing rings are a good place to find people who are good at throwing punches, or taking them. By defeating each opponent in an arena, you'll have an opportunity to face its best fighter. Prove your physical superiority, and they may consider joining DedSec. I'm guessing that's some sort of primate society thing. I've heard from Inspector Lau. We're ready for the briefing. Mary Kelly heads up the most powerful crime family in London, Clan Kelly, which should at least be easy to remember.
Under her old man, they were a bit player. Then he died, and her rivals started disappearing. Her enemies, her friends, her family. They call her Bloody Mary for a reason.
Early on, Mary abandoned cash in favor of cryptocurrency and brought the Kellys' criminal business online.
It makes weapons smuggling, drug running, money laundering all a lot easier without a cash trail. The woman single-handedly modernized organized crime in London. She considers herself to be untouchable. Case in point, from my files you retrieved. Darla Covington, 19. Sasha Haddad, 28. Radek Stavkovich, 24. All disappeared.
It's difficult to find good help these days, isn't it, love? Most people, they ain't driven. Not like you. Because they feel worthless, don't they? The way that the world is, how it uses people. It's horrible. It's nice that you have a purpose. Oh, that'll be me, love.
We aren't finished here.
This was a courtesy. Oh, give my regards to their families. It's horrible losing someone you love. Nice meeting you, Caitlin.
As you can see, she'll never respond to interrogation. But there is one place she feels comfortable talking, the Sandstone residence.
Inspector Lau thinks a police bug in the Kellys' headquarters may have the evidence she needs to finally convict Bloody Mary.
Sandstone is their center of operations. I know the data on that bug will take her down. Get it for me, and I swear I'll put her away forever.
Pushing the coordinates to your optics.
Sabine here, Inspector Lau. I'm curious how you think you can bring Mary Kelly to justice now, with no backing. Even before Albion took over policing, you couldn't lock her up. And she goes on treating humans like cattle.
I had to work within the system. Yes, it was corrupt. I knew it. I just didn't know how bad it was. I thought a strong enough case couldn't be buried.
Exactly. Your naivety got the better of you last time. How can we know it won't happen again?
Because I'm taking it to a contact in the Attorney General's office. An honest solicitor with a hard-on for organized crime, specifically for Mary Kelly. Look, our methods may differ, but I want to help those people as much as you do.
All right. But however this goes down, there's no way we're letting Mary slip the net again. That's not how DedSec does things. Let's get to Sandstone.
Can I have your autograph?
Security here is state of the art, quite impenetrable. Unless, of course, you flew a drone through the window one of Mary's mouth breathers left open.
The recording device is in her security room.
Getting there should be a simple matter of navigating the vents.
What the hell?
She's using these people as house servants, against their will.
Horrible in itself, but a million times worse knowing they end up as unwilling organ donors.
Please, I need help.
Fucking idiot. Do you piss everyone off the way you're pissing me off, wanker? Stupid git.
That's it. Let's see what kind of recording we've got on her. Just look at this place. This is what comes of old crooked money. The Kelly family has been profiting from people's misery for a long time. She's got this shit all over the manor.
So you've been in there before? Is that how you ended up in the basement of the Southwark incinerator?
We needed something incriminating, so we decided someone had to get in here and plant a bug. I wasn't going to assign someone else to do that. You saw how Mary uses the people she grabs out of the EPC, and the staff's uniform's not hard to mimic, so I went in. What I didn't know was that she had intel on our investigation, my team. I thought going off book would stop the leaks, but she still knew we were coming. She tortured me for the names of my team, tried to break me, but cops don't give up cops. Turned out she already knew the whole unit and put hits out on them. The woman is a mind fucker.
You're fortunate she didn't put one of those microchips in you. I suppose she knew you'd rather die than serve her.
That's how I ended up on that butcher's table. So many reasons to want to rid the world of her, but it wouldn't be enough to just put one in her brain. My mates died trying to bring her to justice. I have to honor that.
Look at the state of you. Look what you've done to yourself after everything I've done for you.
You made me a slave. All of us. Please, let me go. Take this thing out.
Back to your old life. Back to nothing. Back to you 2.5 screaming blighters in your dead-end job and sucking off the dole. You don't want that, love. This microchip is scary, I know, but I've got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I? And this kitchen knife, that won't do it, love. Cutting yourself affects my bottom line.
Look, I can't live like this anymore.
No. You're all right there. It's all right, sweetheart, because I have another use for you. mention, are we? Good, be sure and spread the word. You know where this one goes. Get these two and all the others over to their venue and ready for the sale.
Right away, ma'am. Also, the foreign investors have already landed and the drones are programmed, ready to deliver the invitations and the coordinates to all the guests.
Is that initiative I'm smelling, Peter? Initiative can be a dangerous thing. Can be misinterpreted. Fuck's sake.
This is insane. How did Mary get her hands on this kind of tech? It takes a sick mind to come up with killer microchips.
Perhaps a disease mind, but definitely an ingenious one. Perfect psych profile for a group like Zero Day, wouldn't you say?
Her affiliations aren't my priority, Bagley. She's keeping these people enslaved. And it sounds as if she's selling them. This is huge.
So that's what the microchip is for. Compliance. The second you step out of line, she can slaughter you and sell you for parts.
DedSec, we'll have to crash that slave auction. Get all the information we can out of there. The location will be on the invitations. She hasn't sent out the invitation yet, but when she does...
Bagley, monitor the drone networks. Give us a heads up when Mary sends out her fleet. Until then, I reckon we're in a holding pattern.
I'll get in touch if I hear about anything else that might interest you. Cheers, DedSec.
Since we're waiting for our cordial invitation to Mary Kelly's tasteless theme party, we can finally get back to what really matters, solving the mystery of Zero Day. Who are they, and why did they frame DedSec for the bombings?
Bagley, what do we have?
Glad you asked. Today, the great AI detective has 2 leads for his dog's body politic. Obviously, Albion needs looking into, but I also have a more unusual thread for you to pull on. There's a new hacktivist group on the dark web scene called the 404. But instead of being in it for the lulz, this lot seems to be in it for the brutal reshaping of society by any means necessary. Sound like anyone you know?
It seems I have options.
I've marked both on your optic.
I repeat, all units. We have reports of a hostile in your area. Over received. Stand by for further developments.
Negative. No visual of the suspect.
Force against humans is permitted.
I hate putting Mary Kelly on the back burner while she continues to destroy lives with those microchips. But for now, we've no choice.
Then perhaps it's time to have a closer look at the elephant in the room. Nigel Cass, billionaire warmonger and current CEO of our local board of thugs, Albion PMC.
Cass certainly profited most from the bombings. We can inspire London to resist from now till forever, but it still won't break Albion's grip on the city. Not with Cass at the top.
So we're going to take on the head of the barbarous PMC outfit, currently treating London like its own private occupation zone. Remind me again how that's not suicide?
Bagley's come across a possible gap in Cass's armor. An ex-insider, ex-friend with an axe to grind. He'd be an asset if we can find and convince him to work with us. Come to the safe house. We'll talk it through.
There's too much medicine, if anything. Just medicines. He can't move for medicine. In fact, just this morning.
There's a potential recruit you may want to check out. Pushing your location.
Retrofungal neurodilatory estrogen spermatotropic fruit pastels.
The people claiming there are medical shortages are probably high on lots of medicine that they've been given. I for one believe that there are no medical shortages, Andy. Just last week I went in with a broken arm and they suggested it might just be extreme period pain and prescribed me a drink of water and an astrology chart.
We can't be too far away from them just describing stiff upper lip like
My uncle had a leg removed due to diabetes. They halved his insulin because they said there was less of him to be diabetic.
So, anyway, people don't believe what you read or hear about there not being enough medical drugs to go around. It's not true. It's hospital Hogwarts, it's pharmacy.
You look like someone who wants to make a difference.
Fuck me! Are you dead sick? I could use your help.
Perhaps. What's the situation?
One of my mates went AWOL last week. Can't get hold of them, and they ain't answering their texts.
How dreadful.
Thing is, right, they've got a big anti-authoritarian streak. I'm worried they've bit off more than they can chew.
Don't worry. We'll find them.
Shut up, man.
However ill you may be,
Please,
no. Keeping life in full.
I'm investing heavily in the placebo effect.
Right, let's talk about Albion PMC, the only British organisation to successfully oppress more of the developing world than the British government, led by Nigel Cass, a man the partisan media calls a charismatic visionary, and Amnesty International calls a war criminal. Albion was given the key to the city to re-establish order following the bombings.
Suspicious timing, to put it mildly.
It is. So that's 2 reasons why we need to find an angle on Cass.
We've found one. His name, Hamish Balaji. Born in London, Balaji was a recipient of the Cass Foundation Technical Scholarship at 14, which included a mentorship with Cass himself. At 16, Balaji designed Cass's first drone fleet. Fun fact, Cass delayed the launch by a week so it would land on Balaji's birthday.
Cass sounds like Balaji's second dad. Why would he help us?
They had a falling out after an incident in the Niger Delta 3 years ago. A buried human rights investigation accuses Cass of ordering a drone fleet to wipe out a village protesting the construction of a pipeline, but the drones malfunctioned before they could. Balaji is named as the likely saboteur. He's been on the run ever since, but now tracking data shows he's reappeared in London.
Shit, he's looking for redemption like with the protesters. This guy designed Cass's drone fleet. I think he's trying to disarm Albion.
He covers his tracks well, but that's a good guess. Unfortunately, according to this Albion intelligence report intercepted by our friend Caitlin Lau, Cass knows Balaji's in London as well. So, that's the op. Make contact with Balaji before Albion finds him. Then convince him we have a mutual enemy in Cass.
So this guy's our best chance to stop Albion and clear our names. And the largest private army on Earth wants him dead. No pressure.
It took some doing, but I've narrowed down the area where we're most likely to find Hamish Balaji. I've pushed the coordinates to your optic.
The strength that comes from our belief.
Now, Win, fancy that!
I will say you have done enough. What a state.
You're listening to The Bug.
May cause nausea, vomiting and headaches. Hello Britain, this is The Bug, the show that holds up a mirror to the world and smashes itself on the head with it in despair. I'm Andy, joining me, as always, Alice. And
Balaji has been snooping into Albion's affairs. Quietly, of course, but I've been able to determine that most of his activity stems from this area.
Shall we pop in for a quick hello?
Not so fast. Hamish isn't in, according to his home security. And before you get ideas, he's rigged his front door to a series of traps designed to delete all of his data and then your life. Not necessarily in that order.
Paranoid. Can't blame him.
To be fair, you are an armed insurgent trying to break into his flat. Anyway, you should be able to connect to the local grid and use security cameras to disarm his traps.
Okay. quite the interior decorator, isn't he? Look at all these traps.
You could force the traps to unlock by rewiring the power.
On it.
Welcome to Claire and Present Danger, and welcome to Fascist London. Don't let that boot on the back of your neck disturb you. In time, you'll barely feel it. We have to wake up, people. If there was a playbook for setting up a totalitarian police state, Albion would be most of the way through it and working on the epilogue. They certainly took advantage of the fallout from the bombings, didn't they? Preyed on the fears of the city government, too. They were only too happy to hand Nigel Cass the keys to the city. Wash their hands to the whole mess. The collar will only get tighter now, friends, unless we do something. We can't wait for someone else to fight back. We are the change.
The traps are disarmed. Now, if you go through the front door of the flat, it's much less likely you'll be killed.
Move one more muscle, Chief, and I'll blow the whole place with you in it.
Okay, no need to get excited.
Who the fuck are you? And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Hardly. More like the exact opposite.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You done?
Please don't! We're here to warn you. Albion knows you're in London. You have to run.
Fuck me. You're telling the truth, aren't you? Fucking hell, thought I was careful. Fucking idiot, Amish. Look, Cass is worse than you know.
Oh, we know. Why the hell else would I be out here risking my neck?
Maybe, because Nigel Cass is paying you. That's how fucking mercs work.
Oh, please. We're on the same side. Cass already tried to kill us once, and we know he had a hand in the bombings.
Mate, you don't know shit. You have no idea what Cass is and what...
Move!
Fuck! An Albion squad's closing in on you. I guess you weren't lying about that part. Fuck. Think, Amish, think. Shit, fine. We'll table it. I'll buy you some time. Just go. No!
Move it!
Don't just stand there. Albion won't be fussy about who they shoot.
Bloody hell.
Moving to the hostiles location. Over. We're on their tail. Over.
This is Control. Suspect has obtained a motorboat.
Dispatch, deploying drone to apprehend the suspect.
Control, I can't see the suspect. Please advise.
It turns out they are all fake news.
Put a stop to this.
There are none.
Units
There are
fall
no
back.
shortages
Over.
of medicine.
I think all that excitement convinced our new friend Hamish that we need to work together to tackle Cass. He's willing to cooperate.
There's too much medicine, if anything. Just medicines. He can't move for medicine. In fact, just this morning, I tried to boil some cornflakes into a bowl for breakfast and out-tumbled a 12-month course of immunosuppressants.
All right, Chief. That was a pretty slick escape. I believe you. So I'll say this. Nigel is planning something, and I don't think I could stop him on my own. If DedSec's everything I've heard, you'll help me.
We can help each other. There's a chance Cass had something to do with the bombings. What could he be planning that's worse than that?
No, that's not like him. Well, not exactly. See, Nigel's got to see himself as the hero. He's an arrogant twat, but he's not a cynic. Every place we go into, we would have some mad plan to fix all his problems. With robot police or automated crop fertilizing or some shit. Society with a technical problem. And people are just bugs in the software, you know? You work around them or you squash them. Sorry, Chief. I gotta switch proxy servers so they don't trace me. I'll hit you right back on voice. Listen, I've got an inside man, right? A contact in Albion. Says Nigel's got this big meeting happening at White Tower. He'll be talking about a major project he's got planned for London.
What we need is an insider on the team.
I've always wanted to be in on a caper. Okay, first things first. We'll need eyes on the impregnable target, so off you go. I'll crack on with assembling the right personnel to round out this ragtag bunch of misfits.
Ah, shit. Albion cybersecurity sniffing my proxy IP. Must have traced the detonator signal. I've got to deal with this.
No medicine shortages, according to the government. None at all. There have been various allegations about that. It turns out they are all fake news. There are no shortages of medicine. Don't take it from me. I'm not a medical supply expert. Take it from our beloved government. It's fine. In fact, I'm going to read between the lines here.
I don't have time, sorry.
I tried to walk some cornflakes into a bowl for breakfast and out-tumble a 12-month course of...
You're listening to The Bug.
May cause nausea, vomiting and headaches. Hello Britain, this is The Bug, the show that holds up a mirror to the world and smashes itself in the head with it in despair. I'm Andy, joining me, as always, Alice, and...
I deny everything.
Just a good state of existence. Some good news, at last. There are no medicine shortages, according to the government. None at all. There have been various allegations about that. It turns out they are all fake news, trademark. But there are none. There are no shortages of medicine. Don't take it from me. I'm not a medical supply expert. Take it from our beloved government. It's fine. In fact, I'm going to read between the lines here and actually say there's probably... There's too much medicine, if anything. Just medicines. He can't move for medicine. In fact, just this morning, I tried to boil some cornflakes into a bowl for breakfast and out-tumbled a 12-month course of immunosuppressants, corticosteroids, and anti-retrofungal neurodilatory estrogen spermatotropic fruit pastilles.
The people claiming there are medical shortages are probably high on lots of medicine that they've been given. I, for one, believe that there are no medical shortages, Andy. Just last week, I went in with a broken arm and they suggested it might just be extreme period pain and prescribed me a drink of water and an astrology chart.
We can't be too tolerant of just getting stiff upper lip.
My uncle had a leg removed due to diabetes. They halved his insulin because they said there was less of him to be diabetic.
So, anyway, people don't believe what you read or hear about there not being enough medical drugs to go around. It's not true. It's hospital hogwash, it's pharmaceutical flim-flam, it's medical mendacity, it's democratic humbug, it's nonsensical narcotic nincompoop. I think I've made the point. Do not believe.
The news telling you that we've run out of medicine. Nor...
And how, pray tell, do you propose that we actually get into the Tower of London?
I like to help, fam, but Nigel's caught a whiff now. With all the CTOS cameras, it'd take him less than 5 to ID me. I ain't risking my pretty face.
We need an Albion insider for our caper, one who's willing to turn coat. I've reached out to a contact who works in a nearby pub. Where better to find a bleakly disillusioned anti-hero numbing their conscience with drink, but secretly desperate for redemption. I've let our contact know what we're in the market for, and she's nearby.
Good day.
You lot certainly know how to pick your targets. You do know that Albion have set up their headquarters in there, right?
Yes, I was conscious for the last 6 months, but Nigel Cass has a meeting planned to unveil his new project. Whatever ghastly thing he's up to, we have to stop it.
Fucking Nigel Cass. You're right. Nothing good can come of this. Luckily, I hear loads of sob stories working in a pub. And near this place, quite a few from Albion are dissatisfied with the status quo. You turn on the charm, and I'm sure you can get one to join the good guys. Even got a candidate in mind.
Isn't that interesting? Can you send me their personal info?
I'll have Bagley push it along. Good luck, love.
Converting one of those Albion swamp creatures won't be easy.
They're jackbooted thugs who regularly murder civilians. If finding a disenchanted employee is really that difficult, humanity's much worse off than I thought. It would also be quite useful to have someone on the inside.
For however long that lasts, Nigel's real good at sniffing out spies.
Personal experience speaking?
Yeah, not really in a sharing mood right now, fam.
You're listening to the bar.
May cause more.
You're listening to the bar.
May cause nausea, vomiting and headaches. Hello Britain, this is The Bug, the show that holds up a mirror to the world and smashes itself on the head with it in despair. I'm Andy, joining me, as always, Alice, and...
I don't know everything.
Just a good state of existence. Some good news, at last. There are no medicine shortages, according to the government, none at all. There have been various allegations about that. It turns out they are all fake news. Trademark. There are none. There are no shortages of medicine. Don't take it from me. I'm not a medical supplier.
All units, I say again, all units, we have
fine. In
reports
fact,
of a
I'm going to read
hostile
between the lines
in
here.
your
And
area.
actually,
Over,
there's
moving
probably
inbound to hostile.
there's too much medicine, if anything.
Received.
Just
We are
medicine.
trailing the
medicine. You
target.
can't move for medicine. In fact, just this morning, I dropped a corn into a bowl for breakfast and out-tumbled a 12-month course of immunosuppressants, corticosteroids, and anti-retrofungal
Any other patrols
neurodilatory
have eyes on
estrogen
the suspect, over?
spermatotropic fruit pastels.
The people claiming there are medical shortages are probably high on lots of medicine that they've been given. I for one believe that there are no medical shortages, Andy. Just last week I went in with a broken arm and they suggested it might just be extreme period pain, but described me a drink of water and an astrology chart.
We can't be too far away from them just prescribing a stiff upper lip. Like